This police department in Philadelphia could invade Cuba and win. We are now trained and equipped to fight wars. Break their heads is right. They try to break yours, you break theirs first. The police will be in there to drag them out by the backs of their necks. They're going to be taken by force if they resist. No question about that. Children or not.
The water that was coming in the basement was so strong, it was taking the bricks out the wall.
And I see Chucky Africa comes out, and he's shot in his shoulder. And I'm rushing to go to him as a cop takes a gun and puts it to his head and pulls back the hammer, and I grab it and says, whoa, whoa.
Every step of the way, including the final act today, the police used commendable restraint. The police probably would have been legally within their rights to have, subsequent to the shooting of Officer Ramp, stormed the house and killed all of the 12 people in that basement.
Get that death penalty back and put them in the electric chair and I'll pull the switch. That's when I'm sure they'll not be around.
The head of the police union gave his thoughts on those who beat Delbert Africa.
What they should have done is shot that goddamn bum, and then there would have been no trouble today.
On May 8, 1980, after 67 days of trial, Judge Edwin Malmed found Janine, Janet, Debbie, Merle, Chuck, Delbert, Mike, Edward, and Phil Africa guilty of third-degree murder, conspiracy, and multiple counts of attempted murder and aggravated assault. They are now known as the Move 9. Each defendant received a sentence of 30 to 100 years.
In Move, it's like you always got somebody there who understands your situation, you know, and it makes it a lot easier. But growing up without them, some of the things that bothered me was just like simple things like Parents' Day at school. At this point right now, I'm so busy trying to get them released that I don't focus on it anymore. And I'm a father of kids of my own, so it's not really like it used to be when I depended on them and I needed them and didn't have them. 6 or 7 years I was in Move, and lived with Move people. And then when my grandmother left the organization, she took me with her, and I lived with her up until 1992. In my time of being absent and Move, I was a very disturbed and bad child, you know, and I used to get into things with people. I used to fight a lot in school, and one day these few girls, about 3 or 4 girls, decided that they were going to jump my sister. And as far as I was concerned, my sister was all I had. She was all I had. She was my older sister. We were tight. We are tight. Still, we talk to each other every day. She got into this fight with these girls. And when that happened, you know, me feeling like that's all I had and somebody was trying to harm what I have and this is all I have. So I fought and we fought and we fought, and then she like the girls was beating her up, and when we got home, my grandmother, she didn't have an answer for what to do, and we were supposed to just continue to go to school and, you know, go to school in fear. So we didn't, and we never went to school again. That was 1992, maybe March 92, right before Ramona came home.
Can you tell me a little about your parents?
I know more about their situation than I do them. I mean, oftentimes when I go to visit them, oftentimes by the time we finish catching up and explaining things that's happened in our life, the visit is up. We get 15 minutes a week on the phone, and then that's it. I mean, by the time they finish saying, by the time you finish running down a list of people who they want you to say things to or whatever, you don't get much time after that. And so I don't know much about them. All I know is they're in prison and they're innocent, and they're up for parole very soon, and we're going to fight for their release, so that hopefully I get to know them. But I don't really know a whole lot about them. I mean, I know that they came and moved when they were young, and they went to prison shortly after coming into move, just a few years, and then and they've been in prison ever since. And I know that they're revolutionaries. I know that they're strong. I know that they fight for what they believe in. I don't really know a lot though.
We were demonstrating against police brutality. We were demonstrating against the pet stores and the zoos about their treatment of mistreatment of animals. We were doing some work with the neighborhood gangs in terms of settling some of those disputes they had out there, and but most of our work was centered on the liberation of animals and the liberation of people.
When you visit them, are you able to have contact visits?
Oh yeah, we have contact visits.
And then you bring your kids with them so they get to meet their grandparents?
I take my kids up there. Yeah, they talk to them a lot. They want to see them. My kids, if I tell them, listen, we're going to see your grandmother today, and they're cheerful. They want to see them. And I take them up there, and they have contact with them. They can hug and all of that. But it's not often though. I think Alex have seen my mother 4 or 5 times in his life. He's like 10. Kobe's maybe twice. He's 7. So it's not a lot. And I don't take them. I don't go up there unless I take them up there.
It must be tough trying to explain to them, why their grandparents are in prison.
Actually, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
That's the easy part, because we're an organization against the system. And one of the easiest ways to get them to understand what this system is about is explaining to them why their parents are in prison. You ever see the movie Apocalypto? I let my kids watch that movie because there was a lot of very graphic, grueling punishment. Very, very graphic. And these are the kind of things that I show my kids to let them know this stuff actually happens. This is not a myth. This is not this is not fiction here. This is the things that the system is actually doing to people. If you see the police, they're part of the system. You don't even have to worry about them being in disguise. They part of the darn system. So these are the people that put my parents in prison so that you're separated from your grandparents. They did this stuff. The system is the ones that caused Christopher Columbus to come over here and do what he did. The system is the ones who got Tony Blair over there acting crazy. The system is the ones who got George Bush in office. They put him there, he's there, and he's doing all kind of crazy stuff to those people in Iraq. If you're trying to rule over somebody else, it's wrong. And I don't care if it's the Iraqi system or the American system. I don't agree with George Bush no more than I agree with Saddam Hussein.
When the 9 MOVE members were convicted of third-degree murder and sentenced to 30 to 100 years apiece, several days after that, Judge Edwin Malmet was a guest on a local talk station. He was asked by a caller, who killed James Ram? Malmet's response was, I have absolutely no idea. I know what his response was. I know what the question was because I was that caller.
The judge's comment is telling. The comment that you're referring to has been referred to frequently, and I think his point was they didn't prove to me that in fact any one of those individuals committed the crime, so I convicted them all as a group. Well, the only way he could have done that was based on that prosecution theory of conspiracy, which was a fiction, absolute fiction, and one that was not supported in the law.